Hello guys. Hello everyone. We are playing Subnautica today as per request. As per Bobby request. So I'll wait for some people to get in. Let's do that. Who's gonna be first? Who's gonna be first today? In chat. Bobby! Yes! Bobby, you're first! How are you? How are you, Bobby? You're gonna play Subnautica today, as you requested. I'm good, thank you. I'm good. Today was a bit of a tiring day at work, but I'm good. I'm excited to play this game. I'm scared to play this game, but I'm excited to play this game. Let me see if there's graphics. Underneath things here. Hello, James. What do you mean by there's a lot of underneath things here? I do have the normal Subnautica. However, I think we already know all of the normal Subnautica. So I thought we'd try the new one. Ah, I see what you mean, James. Subnautica and Below Zero. You don't have Below Zero? Aww. Wait, was you saying for us to play it together? I don't think we can play it together. You need a mod for that. Oh, there we go. Do we want VSync? We probably want VSync, don't we? To make it look nice. Make sure there's no screen tearing. Okay. Can you guys hear the game alright? Is it quiet? I feel like I'm loud compared to the game. Then when I watch back my streams, sometimes it just sounds like I'm quiet and everything is quiet. Look at all those penguins. You can barely hear it. Okay. Yeah, look, Charlie, there's alien penguins. Let me make it louder for you guys. This should be okay, I think. I don't want it to be louder than me because then it will be too overstimulating. You're just struggling to... I'm going to be screaming, the game's going to be screaming, you know? Maybe this should be okay? Oh no, Bobby, no. Wait, you already had your science test. How did it go? I hope it went well. Do you know what, Bobby? We'll play a little bit today, but don't worry, we'll play some on the weekend, maybe. So then I'll start an earlier stream. It will be an earlier stream, it won't be late. Because it will be on the weekend. The only reason that my streams are so late is because it's the time I come back from work. But on the weekend... Oh, my mic is peaking because I'm just so loud. Jesus Christ. But on a weekend I can start the stream earlier, right? So So... Sorry, I'm just adjusting the volumes. So then, yeah, I hope it went good. Do you know what, Bobby? If you need any help with any questions, put them in chat, and you have like at least 4 people that can help you. At least 4 people that can help you with a question, like a science question, maybe, if I remember anything. Okay, I think we might be ready to play. Obama's saying that. We trust him, Bobby. Start a new game. Right, okay. Survival. Survive alone on 454 gigabytes. Wait, no. 4546b. That's the name of the planet. The death of your sister? Oh my god. Hardcore, creative, custom. Okay, we'll just do survival. That's like the normal one, isn't it? Viewers. No, Alex is fine. Alex is fine. This is not about Alex, guys. Let's not put the bad juju out there. Nitrox. Use the mod Nitrox to play with your friends. Oh yeah. Okay, I'll search it up after.
This is the farthest I can take you on company space bucks, Robin. You sure you want this? The research is in everything.
It is to me. And Sam. I need to know what happened.
The meteor storm.
I can use it for cover from Altera's eyes.
Gonna miss you, Robin.
Oh.
I'll find my way back.
Oh, we're hiding from someone behind a meteor.
Approaching 4546 feet. Surface temperatures. Drop pod deployed.
Oh, I remember this. Not this. This is what I felt like the other day when I got hit by the car. Okay, if
4546 feet. Enjoy your stay.
ah oh oh Bobby, he wasn't here for the story time. What's that? Okay, the game is so loud. Oh, I can pause the game because it's not multiplayer, guys. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's story time. Basically, I was on my way home from work and I was driving my motorbike and a stupid idiot driver hit me and rammed me off my bike and drove away and didn't give me his details, his insurance details or anything. It was a hit and run. I'm okay. Everything's okay. The bike is damaged. I'm gonna try and fix it somehow, maybe, hopefully. We'll see what my insurance company says, but okay. It's okay, Bobby. Everything's okay. Don't stress. Don't stress. If you want to know the full story, is because basically I was rambling for like a good like half an hour maybe. I was going into the story in detail. If you want, you can watch it in yesterday's VOD. Hello? Oh no, I did mute my... How did that happen? Oh. What's the last bit you heard? Oh my god. Okay, let's... Basically, I left the Twitch chat off. I left the Twitch chat off for immersion. See, even the universe said enough rambling. But this is so loud for me. Oh, that's what I was doing. I was gonna turn the game down. Volume? Hello? Guys, you can't turn down the volume. Oh, music master volume. Oh, it's not really useful that, like, I can't really hear. Okay, this is good for me, and then because I've turned it down, I might need to turn it up for you guys. I remember the Seamoth. Okay, just let me know. Oh, it's really loud for you guys as well. Okay, so just let me know if what the volume's like. I'll keep an eye on chat and you guys let me know what it's like. Where did it go? Turn it down a bit more. Yeah, so as far as I remember, if this is the same planet, which I think it might be, oh, I didn't turn down my sensitivity. If this is the same planet, which it might be, which I think it is, the planet's atmosphere is protected by a massive laser beam. So when anything enters the atmosphere, I don't know why it's not working on these meteors, to be fair, but when anything enters the atmosphere, the laser beam shoots it down, and I'm assuming that's what our character was hiding from. Oh, the temperature is rapidly going down. Oh, okay, I can stand next to this. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so that's what our character was hiding from. It was using the meteors to hide from the laser beam that shoot her down from the atmosphere. I'm assuming I have to go to this pod over here because that's what's on my screen right now. Whoa. Oh, they're heat. Are you heaters? Oh, wow. Oh, this is so cool. So when I walk, my...
Smokes. That did not go as planned. I should find a way into the water and get to the drop pod.
To the water. This... Oh, guys, my nightmare begins. Where is it? I need to turn it down just a tiny little bit more. Okay, that's a bit too much. 5. Okay. Yeah, this is good. I feel like I'm gonna die so soon in this game. Oh no. I'm scared, guys. I'm scared. Can I just like hop on these little... Oh, okay. Okay, this bit is okay because it looks pretty and there's only little baby fish and it's not deep, okay? Yeah, the water is really warm. It's tropical. We're in the Maldives. What is that? I should probably look where I'm going.
Oxygen.
Oh, I forgot about that. Okay, now this is, I don't like that. I don't like that. Being above the surface is disgusting. This looks like a massive eel. I don't like that either. I'm gonna be saying that about a lot of stuff. By the way. Out the door.
Pod.
How did the water not get in when I opened the door? Sorry about your sister. Excuse me?
I want to offer my sincerest condolences on the passing of your sister. I got to know Sam better towards the end of my mandate with Altera on 4546B, when we were thrown together as base mates at Outpost Zero. She spoke often and fondly of you. I thought you should know, it didn't sit right with me when Altera blamed Sam's death on negligence. The Samantha Ayu I met was many things. Kind, clever, devoted to her work, but never negligent. I wish I could offer you something more substantial, but my access to information has been cut off. You may be in a better position to look into things than I am. If you're able to, Delta Station was our HQ.
Oh, thank you.
They were in a big hurry to leave, and there might still be information to be found there. It has a big radio tower, impossible to miss. I hope you find the answers you seek. Lillian Bench.
Okay, so there's a conspiracy. There's a conspiracy. Our sister died, and Altera is the company, actually. I think Altera is the company we work for. And the reason we were hiding is because they're not supposed to know that we're looking for our sister, right? So we was hiding behind a meteor, going down to the planet. So ignore the laser beam part. I think that was part of the first game. I don't know if it's still part of this game. Who knows? Anyway, so that means we were hiding from the company, coming down to this planet because there's a conspiracy that our sister didn't die due to being silly. We think that somebody killed her. Oh my god, notice of death. Okay. Miss Ayu, on behalf of Zeta Landon 4546B, Robotics Section Leader, and Indra Cormac, President of Altera Transgov, I regret to inform you of the death of Samantha Ayu. She died on planet 4546B, regrettably as a result of injuries sustained in an accident arising from her own negligence. Please allow me to communicate the most profound condolences of the loss of your sister. How can you be like saying, oh, I'm sorry your sister died, and then in the same message being, from her own negligence? Like, bro, just calm down. While further details are unavailable at this time, you will receive contact from the Department of Insurance and Recuperation concerning your responsibilities as next of kin, with regards to payment of damages and legal fees. What? I have to pay? So you're telling me, sorry about your sister, she died because of her own negligence. By the way, you're gonna have to pay all the damages and legal fees. If you have any questions, you may file form Y7YSSSU49U2K, and your query will be addressed in sequential order. Sincerely, Emmanuel Desjardins. Communications liaison Altera Transgov. Okay. Sam. Oh wait, we
Robin,
can listen to
guess
this.
what? I got the job. I'm going to 4546B. Now I'll be able to improve the mechanical avian amphibian under real-world stress conditions. Listen, I know your stance on Altera, but I just hope you're happy your sis is happy. I sure hope my sis is happy. I can't wait till we talk again. Oh, I wanted to ask you something. Can you watch my Augie while I'm away? I need someone I can trust to look after my best little potato. Potato, listen. I tried, but that name is just not sticking. He's my little oxtrabite. I'll leave the starchy tubers nicknames to you. Anyway, if you say yes, thanks, baby sis. Love you.
Oh. What? Who was we looking after, and why did we leave her pet? Is this her pet? No, surely not.
4546B to Robin. Come in, Robin. Remember when we used to play old-timey Space Explorer? This is kind of like that, but it's even harder to communicate.
These messages are so long.
Well, let's see. I got your last message. Altera is not, as you put it, all-terrorizing me. Things are going well. My project has a new name. Say goodbye to the mechanical avian amphibian, and hello to spy penguins. We're
What?
training the bots to mimic the creatures. Check out the photo. And I think I'm kind of seeing someone. I know
Oh,
it's not like me to just find a date, let alone on a mostly
skip it.
uninhabited water planet, but actually, you know what? Forget I said anything. Yeah, it's probably not even a real thing, but anyway, I'm sorry to hear XenoWorks might be strapped in the revenue department. Sounds like they still have you busy.
Okay, let's read through this quickly. Sounds like they have you busy, working through. I know there's a way to guarantee an alien intelligence startup will succeed, but you've put in so much work. Know how much it means to you. So they're working on they're creating spy robots that mimic the aliens here. I got your Augie photo. Thank you for taking care of him. Cranky. He's a cranky potato. What the hell? Bro just called him a cranky potato. One of the penguins found something big, but Altera just nothing to see here. Okay, so one of her robots found something, but the company's trying to cover it up. Oh, and I'm assuming that XenoWorks is a company that we work for, and it's now become part of Altera. And we don't like Altera, so she's not very happy. We're not very happy. We're not very happy, guys. Okay, sorry, my last message was so awful. Under a lot of stress. Can't really talk about... Wait, not sure what's going on with anything. Can't really talk about it either. Okay, so they're trying to shush her. Not dating anyone on this water planet. Okay, hey Robin. I need someone to know. I'm afraid something terrible is going to happen. You're completely right about Terra. You were right. I was wrong. And the cat should be called Potato. What? Oh, Augie was a cat. And say, I've said so much. We found frozen Leviathan that's infected with Kara. Altera thinks they can use it for something. Weapons. They're trying to make a bioweapon from this Kara infection. Oh, yeah, look. What if it ends up a bioweapon in the wrong hands? I hope I'm not overreacting. Oh, guys. Okay, this is tutorial stuff, and I don't read tutorials. I just
Well,
wing
Sam,
it.
I guess I might as well gather some tools and resources before starting my search. Hope that radio tower's as easy to spot as Lil said.
Oh, guys, it's nighttime. I don't want to be doing anything during nighttime. Are you crazy? Gather tools and materials. Flashlight, battery, and glass. Wait, do I have a... Oh, I keep pressing the wrong button. Do I have a storage container in here? No, just a fabricator. Can I exit base from the top? I can't exit base from the top anymore. I don't like this. What can I gather? Can I even gather anything? No?
Calorie intake recommended.
What? What do you mean calorie intake how? Oh. No, I don't want to release it. Can I eat these? No! No! Come back! I need to collect some fish.
New creature discovered.
Boomerang fish.
Oxygen.
Okay. Guys, I'm really stressed. If we do... Oh, I have an idea. Best ice cream flavour out of chocolate chip and strawberry vanilla. Guys, if we do a poll, I'm going to have to get Spencer to do it because... Oh, I mean, I can't... This.
Ribbon plants contain electrolytic materials that can be used in energy storage.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I think Charlie may be able to do a poll actually because he's Oh, I remember these were edible, maybe?
Oxygen.
Come back! Oxygen, guys, oxygen. I've lost my pod. I've lost my pod! Oh, it's right there. Okay, let me see if I can cook these. Fish and chips. Is that the ice cream flavor you're going for, Charlie? No, this is storage. We don't want storage. We want fabricator because we're gonna cook some food. Aw, it's so sad that they're getting cooked. That's a good one. Guys. Y'all eating fish and chips ice cream flavor? How many fish did I catch? Yeah, are you not? No, actually. No one's introduced me to it yet.
Vital signs stabilizing.
Oh, are they yummy? She seemed like she liked them. Because a chip as the flake and the ice cream. Oh, that's so smart, you know. Okay, well, I've been told to collect some resources. Wait, I should check what I can build first. No, this is storage container. Deployables, waterproof locker, equipment. Fins, silicone, resources. Grapevine seed clusters. I think I saw them. They're the glowy ones. What was that? What was that? What was that? Linear VTuber. Oh, thank you for the follow, Linear. Linear? Is it Linear? Hold on, let me just double check. Hey! How are you? Yeah, it's Linear. Linear. How are you, Linear? I hope you're doing well. Is it these ones that I need to collect? Can I collect this? No, I can't. Oh, this is the mushroom I saw before. But I can't collect it. I'm good, thank you. I'm just playing this scary game. That is scary to me. What can I collect? I need to collect some stuff. I can't collect any of this. Maybe if I go... There's a cave here. Can I collect anything in here?
Oxygen.
Already. I need to make an oxygen tank. That's what I need to make. I can't collect any resources. Oh, there's something here.
Should be able to use this.
Oh, okay. Okay, maybe that's what I was supposed to be collecting this whole time. For the storyline to progress. Can I collect this? No. I guess maybe this part of the game is for like exploration. Ooh. Stream's going good. Going good so far. Pretty chill. Pretty chill. Nothing intense. We've only just started the game. For the first time. Ever. Oh, I can make glass. Yeah, I remember when this game first came out. This is Subnautica Below Zero, like the second one. When it first came out, I intentionally avoided knowing or seeing anything about the game because I was like, I have to play this at some point. So I've literally not seen any like gameplay of the game. That's not nearby. What do you mean nearby? You know how long it will take me to swim there? Can I jump up on here? Whoa. Can I collect this? I need this. Do I need a knife for these? That's so annoying. Am I supposed to... Okay, so the first thing I need to do is make a knife. I've realised. And I saw a... What the hell was that? Guys, I'm actually going to be so stressed in this game. I'm pre... What other games do I play? Okay, so... Oh, not the oxygen. Oh, no. On the weekends, I play Roblox with my little sister. And apart from that, we've been playing Soulframe. I play all kinds of games. All kinds of games. We played the finals. What else do we play, guys? We played Are We There Yet? What else was there? What else was there? I'm thinking of doing a Minecraft series soon. Maybe like a modded one or something. Something cool, something interesting. Yes. Bobby's interested. Filtered water.
Synthesized.
Oh, mostly play story modes such as Red Dead, GTA. Oh, okay. Yeah, I have Red Dead and GTA, but I haven't played them on stream yet. Someone say Minecraft. You join the Minecraft server. Yeah. Oh, guys, we can do a stream Minecraft server so everybody can join and we can all build together. That would be good, wouldn't it? That would be very good. Right, this is food. Okay, so we need to make a knife. That's what we need to make. We need silicone rubber and titanium. How do I make silicone rubber? Deep cluster seeds. This would be so nice. Yeah, we'll do it a little bit after Subnautica. You can't get it working. Oh, if you can get it working, yeah, wait, so you can't. Someone's screaming at me, I don't like it. Is it these guys? Who are they? Are they good or are they bad? Are you good or are you bad? Okay, I think they're neutral. Okay, this is what I need for the silicone.
Oxygen.
Can you stop shouting me, lady? I need this for the silicone. Oh, 0. What do you mean? No. Guys, no, I can't die so quickly. Oh my god. This is why I needed those creep vines. Where's my pod? That was so stressful. I don't have any emotes because I haven't made any yet. Listen to the old lady shouting. Okay. Guys, I'm just a hater sometimes. I'm just a hater sometimes. Only sometimes. Battery, right. Where's my... This menu is really... not... I need fiber mesh. Oh, I was making the... Okay, I was making the knife first. Oh, I'm okay, thank you. I'm drawing... I'm planning to draw my own emotes. Maybe we'll craft this as well.
If you are tired of hearing the word oxygen, the air bladder provides a significant upward thrust to help you get to air faster.
Oh, and let's craft these so I can swim faster as well. Okay, do I need to equip that? Or does it... Okay, it automatically equips. I need water. What gives me... Oh, wait. These decrease my water. What gives me water? Oh, you can eat these for water. Nice. See, in the other game it was easier because you started with some supplies. There was a supply chest in the first game. You know when you pull the knife out and you do that skill move? In this game? This move? Yeah? What about it? Yeah, smack, smack, smack.
Oxygen.
Smack, smack, smack. Does this get used up? Oh no, it just deflates and it inflates. Hey, did you know that ocean water is not drinkable water? Yeah, James. So don't be rude. I'm just gonna collect a bit of everything now that I have the knife. Because everything is gonna give me something, right? No? Apparently that won't give me anything.
Oxygen.
No! Let go! Oh, that's how they get you guys. That's how they get you. Can I climb on this? I can! Hello? Oh, there's nothing up here. It's probably warmer under the water. Yeah, let's go and collect some of those mushrooms. Because I want to know what they do. Inventory full. What do you mean? I haven't even collected half the stuff that I want to collect yet. Oh, there's so many. Oh, see, this is what I'm talking about. My hotbar isn't full though. Can I put this in my hot? That's true. It is an alien planet, and I don't know if it's drinkable or not. But that also means that it might be super, super poisonous. Storage container. These guys are next. I don't actually know what they're doing. Small plant containing acidic fluid. Oh, maybe I can make a battery with those. Okay. What can I craft? So I have fins. Compass, don't care about that. O2 tank. We need titanium. Oh, and I needed... What did I need that fiber for? Oh, fiber mesh was for the tank. Let's craft some of that. Oh, when the next stream start? Because tomorrow I can stay till like 10 or something. No, Bobby, I'm not streaming tomorrow. I'm going out tomorrow, so I'm not streaming tomorrow. So probably Saturday. If you're free on Saturday, I will be streaming on Saturday. Right, I don't need a first aid kit. I need a scanner. That's what I need. Okay, how do I make a battery? Yes, give me that plant. I knew. See, I told you guys I can make batteries with this. Let's make some batteries. I'm not going to a party. I'm just going out with some girlies from work. From my old work, actually. Because we haven't seen each other in a long time. Okay, wait. Oh, sorry. I have the battery. You guys are distracting me. And I wanted to make the scanner. And oh, I need to make the flashlight as well.
All right, I have a scanner.
Oh, I look cute. And I need to make another battery. So, copper ore. Do I have any of that? No. Okay. Let's go get some copper ore. Where did I see? I saw it like over here somewhere. Wait, did I even equip my... Is my... Where's my... Did I not build the tank? Guys, that's really bad. Give me that fish. I need it. For the water. That wasn't copper, guys. Jeez.
Oxygen.
Lady. Absolute lady. Spencer, you scaring me. It's nighttime and it's spooky and you're coming in here unannounced. And I'm underwater. Do you know how scary that is? Okay, the copper is in those little, like, rock deposits. So I just need to, like, look for some of those. I'm so stressed that I'm just gonna get so consumed in looking for them. Like the noises I'm hearing. Hello, Spencer, James said. Okay. I'm gonna stray too far from my...
Oxygen.
She's so... Whoa! Oh! I flew up and it showed me some penguins. Hello, guys. Are you good? Are you a good friend? Hello? Are you a friend? Oh! Oh, it's dark. Oh, it's dark. I don't like it. Whoa. Bobby's talking a different language. Add. Okay, I won't do I won't do anything crazy.
Oxygen.
Oxygen. All the bad things come out to play at night. Exactly. Like the creepers and the skeletons. Whoa! Hello? It's a tire fish. Replenish oxygen? Wait. Do I have to kill it? What? Hello? Ah! 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 I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared. Where's my home? Where's my home? Guys. Somebody bit my toe. I apologize for screaming into your ears. But... what is that? Oh, my scanner keeps coming up. Oh! What happens when I scan this stuff? Will it give me useful information?
Oxygen.
Oh, lady. What happened to my oxygen tank? Did I make it? Or did I need titanium? Or did I make it? No, I didn't make it. Why did I not? I don't have enough titanium. Okay, let's make some water. Because I need that. It was Mr. Krabs. Oh my god. What is he doing down there? I don't have any money for him. Might go now. Our maths test. Okay, good luck, Bobby. Just remember that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Good luck. I hope it goes well. That's all I can.
Fluid intake.
I'm trying. I'm literally. I can't drag it into my hotbar. What do you mean seek fluid intake? How do I intake? Do I have to do it from my inventory? Consume.
Vital signs stabilizing.
Oh, guys, I wish I could just press escape to exit the menu because clearly that's all I need. That's all I left. That's all that's left that I need. What? I'm confused. Okay, so I need to get some more titanium. Oh, this is where I saw... Okay, this is where the guys I saw earlier. Who can I scan? Let me scan you, sir. Oh, okay, goodbye. Ooh.
Oxygen.
I like how far I fly when I use this thing. Just absolutely fly out of the water. Scan? Oh, yeah. Scaly. Can I... Wait, what happened to my knife? Did it break already? Did I accidentally take it out of my inventory? There's no way it broke already. Surely. Surely not. Oh, guys, what a fail. Let me switch container. Can I... Yeah. So I need titanium. Coral bridge? Can I cut it? Oh, it doesn't really do anything. Okay. I need to look for more titanium.
Oxygen.
Wait, I need to rearrange this. This is really annoying me. Okay. Maybe these caves might have some rocks, some titanium. Oh, hello. Yes. There's enough. Oh, there's loads here. Oh my god.
Oxygen.
Whoa. Okay, put it away. Sea glide fragment. Yes, this is what we need. This is exactly what we need. There's another one. Guys, this is exactly what we need. How many do we need of those? 2 out of 3. I'm just gonna scan everything in hopes that, like, I unlock. These were right next to each other, so maybe the third one's gonna be around here somewhere as well. Hopefully.
Oxygen.
I just got some. Oh. I bet it's in... What did I get? Nothing. Such a scam. I need the last sea glide fragment. Whoa. Barnacles.
Oxygen.
What? Whoa. Lightning. I wonder why there's lightning over there. Oh, do you guys reckon the last sea... Oh, hello. Penguin. Penguig. Penguin. Wait, what? What are they called? You're too fast. Penguin. Storm's incoming. Wait, for real? Oh no. Do I need to stock up on supplies?
Oxygen.
I swear I just got some. I swear I literally... Oh, it's raining. Oh, you're right. Storm is incoming. Let me up here. Is this something I can collect? Is this just snowballs? Do the penguins have snowball fights? This is hail. This is a hailstorm. Oh. I want to see what it... Look at it underwater. Oh no, it's... Wait, what? I swear I could see underwater a few minutes ago. Anyway, I need to find that sea glide fragment, the last one. That's all I need. That will allow me to travel so fast everywhere that I need to travel. And I'll be able to potentially go to that supply supply thing. The marker, that one. Emergency supply cache. Am I supposed to go there before I start getting all this stuff maybe? It just seems so far away. I don't think I can just... I think it will take me ages to swim that way. Let's try. Let's try and see if I just start swimming slowly. Oh. I'm entering like unknown... Oh! Yes! Last one! Let me scan this fishy. Someone's shouting at me.
Oxygen.
Stop. Wait, if I smack the fish, it gives me oxygen. That's so rude.
Oxygen.
I just took some from the fish, no? Life stuff in my inventory. Oh, frick. No! Guys, I died. You're joking. Oh, I had to start again. It's because I'm reading chat. Why am I reading chat? And I come back to saying penguin. Oh, you lost some stuff. Can I collect it? Is it where I died? Or is it just gone? Oh, did I just lose all the titanium I've collected? Oh, it's here. Oh, I was so close to my base, guys. It's all here. I was literally right in front of it. Don't blame chat. No, do you know what, James? I'm blaming you because you're the only one in chat. Okay. Ooh, who's that? Oh, it's just a bladderfish. Okay, let's start crafting. Let's start building and crafting. What is that noise? Why is the ground shaking? What was that? Was that still lightning? I'm not liking this. Where's my pod? Let me get in. I'm gonna start building. Let's start building. I didn't ignore her. Do you know what? Do you know what it is? I unintentionally ignored her say oxygen because she says it so often now that it's just ineffective because I've just learnt to ignore it. Okay, so fiber mesh. Fiber mesh. We have some fiber mesh, don't we? Let's take everything. Okay, can't fit that one in there. Okay. Let's make an oxygen tank. I swear I just built one already. Inventory full. Of course it is. So to get out of here, I have to press escape. But to get out of here, I have to press tab. Do you know how annoying that is?
Adding additional blueprints to your databank. The
Lady.
standard oxygen tank can be upgraded for deluxe and VIP breathing.
Ooh, VIP breathing. Guys, you get VIP oxygen in this game. Did you know that? Lubricant copper wire battery. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. We're going to make a battery. A copper wire. Now, we need to get creepvine clusters for the lubricant. And that's it. That's all we need to get. Okay, let's go. Let's put you guys all back. Get out of my inventory right now. Battery. You guys can... Can I eat this? Edible piece of mushroom. Okay, hello. Rotten. Oh, they're all rotten. What do I do with them now? Do I just destroy them in here? Or do I just throw them out here? Drop, 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 drop. What a waste. Who knew? Let's go get some creepvine clusters. We're gonna be zooming around soon, guys, on a sea glide. I'm so excited. Sea shrooms. Oh, let me scan these guys because I'm really curious about them. Oh, what? No!
Some of the wildlife down here is very...
Give it back! Give it back! Wait. I just... What the hell? That was so scary. I thought it was gonna eat me. Hello? What? What? My game just freaked out. What did I press? I'm trying to press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for this thing. Okay, there we go. Guys, stop. I'm not a boomer, I promise. Yeah. The sea monkey just gave me the full London experience and took my scanner out of my hands. Straight out of my hands. I don't want to see some new animals. Wait, if I try to scan it again, will it do that again? That's what I'm curious about. Is there any ice above my head? Get some oxygen before the lady shouts at me. Oh, I have an oxygen tank now. She's not going to shout at me anymore. Don't come near me. No, put it away. Haha, I ain't got nothing for you. Oh, but they're so cute. Is that the sea monkeys making that noise? I don't really like it. It's kind of scary. That area looks dark over there. I don't... Oh, okay, this game is already like starting to freak me out a little bit. So I remember when I played the first Subnautica, I didn't get past this coral reefs bit because it was too scary for me. That's when I stopped playing it. I was like, no. I also couldn't even find the last sea glide fragment, I think, at the time. So I was just like, well, I can't really swim out anywhere without it. And I looked for it literally like everywhere. Why is there so many? Oh, I can drink them, can't I? I forgot. Okay, so I have... Let's clear some space. What did I need? I need a battery, copper wire, mesh. Oh, what did I need for the sea glide? Let's just take a bit of everything and then craft. Oh, I can pin recipes. Oh, silly me! I should have done that.
Glide is a personal transportation device used for high-speed freediving. Contains a built-in.
Oh yes. I should craft a torch as well. Where is it? A flashlight, a battery, and glass. Ribbon plants. Pin recipe. And... in recipe. I think I have... Oh, how do I make glass? Let's make some glass. Okay. Let's do that. And we'll test the sea glide out. Yeah, you have to keep making batteries for it. I forgot. Oh, yeah. It's not very... But when I get the sea moth, that's when it will be easier for me to go to scary places, because then I'll feel a bit safer inside the sea moth. Yeah, I can craft my battery now. Make the battery, and with the battery I will make torch. Let's go. Okay, let me see, what was all this scanning that I've done? Voice log. That's long. I don't care about any of that. Okay, so see, oh, there's so much stuff here, man. Do these actually tell me anything useful? Shelf coral. Oh, I need penguin. Bird-like creature hunts small fish below the water, huddles in packs, consumes small prey fish. A retractable tail. Claws, okay, sharp teeth. Less cuddly than they look. Oh, okay. Sea monkeys are herbivores. Okay, they're not gonna investigate with caution. 2 fingers. Turquoise sea monkeys, ocean, playfully large, fearless of predators, seen for. Okay. Okay, so this is the titan fish. Is that the thing that bit me? Slow, stupid, and delicious. Complex skills inside holes. Drawing cold water in, emitting warm, oxygen-rich water. Extract symbiote. Basically ward off any life form. Symbiotes. How do you say this word? Spencer, how do you say this word? How do you say this word? Symbiotes. Symbiotes. This one. Symbiotes. What's does symbiotic mean? Okay. He doesn't know, guys. Random nutrient deposits, valuable oxygen. Yeah, wait. Don't know. Blah, blah, blah. Because I'm trying to figure out what hurt me. So maybe it's the symbiotes. Symbiotes. Okay, we all know about these guys. Okay, let's see. So I wish there was a bed so I can sleep through the night. Okay, I'm gonna get some food. We're in a passive playthrough. The knife doesn't actually get us food. We just pick them up. Can I make these? Do they give me anything? 2 organisms require each other to live and I... Okay. Symbiotic is 2 organisms that require each other to live and are genetically compatible. Okay. Okay, I see. Come here, pal.
Oxygen.
What? Yes, lady. Let's do some cooking, guys. Oh, I can unpin these recipes now. Why can I not unpin them here? I have to search for the recipe to unpin it. That's a bit long. That's a bit long, though. I came here to do something. And I don't remember what. Yes, let's eat some. Let's eat some. Switch container. Let's cook up all our fishies. Sorry, fishies. But it's time for you to get cooked. Wait, what's this? Cured foods. I need salt deposits. I ain't got none of that. But do they take away your... Oh, sorry guys. I'm just a little bit tired. Do they take away your hydration though? Because they're super salty, no? Is that a thing? Spencer, I'm cold. Yes. I don't know. Do you think that's a good idea? Maybe. Oh. Let's go and try and get that supply. I don't like this person screaming at me. Oh. Okay, this green area is not too scary for now. I hope that's just a sea monkey screaming at it. These creep vines are like putting me off because I can't see anything past them. Oh.
Oxygen.
Sugar. Sugar, honey, iced tea. That's really like scary back there. Oh, I'm on land. Is it just constant ice storm? Okay, so it's like daytime, right? Right? It's still so dark down here. Okay, it's getting lighter now, so I'm not as scared of going down here. Ooh, what's this? Oh. Eagle-eyed freight. Oh, we already have that. Oh, this is not even a covered area.
Use beacons to mark traverse territory. Show or hide the signals of your choice with your Xenoworks PDA. Now with surface support.
Oh, hey guys. No, you can't. You're joking. You can't. Give it back. What the hell? Bro stole my sea glide. Wait. What? I'm in a cave. I'm not liking this. I'm not liking this one bit. Okay. Mineral detector fragment. Go away! No. I'm not playing with you. You're pushing. I'm hiding in this box.
New blueprint synthesized.
Blair. Whatever that is. Water bottle. These guys are really rude. Is this a crate that I can open? No? Is that it?
Warning. 30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
She says a different... Don't. I need my oxygen right now. Please. Please. She says a different line every time. Wait, it says toggle lights. Oh, the lights were on the whole time. Are you for real? Why are they so... not dark, not light? Is that a football? What's this? Go away, monkey! Little monkey. Little sea no. Oh. Guys, what am I supposed to do?
Warning. 30 seconds of oxygen
I was
remaining.
just getting oxygen like 5 seconds ago. Okay, it's fine. We're doing good. Where am I? What is that? I don't like this. I really want to see what this stuff is. They're just the sea monkeys. What is this stuff? That's what I want to know. What are you? Who did that? That was so scary. You absolute... Oh, do you know what this feels like? This feels like... Whoa, is this dangerous? These things melting. Oh, okay. I'm confused. This feels like
Oxygen.
playing with Alex. That's what it feels like. Not in Roblox, but in real life. She'll just test me. She'll just push me to my limits. Make me angry. I'm joking. Well, kind of. She does test my limits. Let's try and get back home safely. Hopefully. Just... Oh, let's just pretend we didn't see that. Okay, this area is pretty chill. It's pretty chill. I don't know who froze me. Yeah, let's get in the base. Because I want to figure out what is happening. Why does this have a plus sign? I need to eat. Nutrient block. Cold and spongy. Old cooked Arctic peeper. Ugh, that sounds disgusting. Need to enjoy disinfected water. Non-vegetarian? Sorry guys. Gotta live. Gotta live. Let's consume these as well. Okay, so. Repair tool. Mineral detector. We need a mineral detector. Navigation aid maintains and broadcasts its position suitable for servicing. Okay. Okay, but I want to know day 4 beacons marked.
Use beacons to mark traverse territory. Show
Oh,
or
okay.
hide the signals of your choice with your Xenoworks.
Okay, I know that. I know that.
Now with surface support.
Okay. So what, am I gonna... Let's craft the mineral detector then. We kind of need that, don't we? Put in the recipe. Do you need a battery? Copper wire. We'll just get copper and silicone rubber. Oh, I just ate all the creepvine clusters. I just ate all the creepvine oh, okay, I have some. Need copper for the copper. Titanium, we have titanium. Okay. So we need the copper. Bro. We need a copper wire. We need the silicone. We need a battery. So in order to get our battery, we need some more copper and one of those green guys, which we don't have. So let me put everything away apart from the essentials that we need. Let's keep the beacon just in case we need it to find something, anything. Okay, copper and sky. Copper and green plants. Acid, whatever it's called. Titanium. Red wards. Oh, it gives us stuff. Oh, okay, maybe I'll just drop it for now. Oh, I think I glitched it. That was kind of like just infinite for some reason. Okay, let's go find some copper. Maybe some in here? No? Hello, copper? Dear little rock, dear little pebble. Get some oxygen and go back down. What does everyone have planned for tomorrow? Oh yes, copper. What's everybody doing? One more. Please. Oh, stop freaking titanium. I need copper. I really want to know who's making all this noise. I think these are the guys that damaged me earlier. They're the ones that are being attracted by the beak circular holefish, whatever it's called. What sort of thing are we doing with the galleys? We're gonna go to a bar, I believe. I think they booked slug and lettuce for us. Salt deposit. I can make some cured meats. Yeah, I think we're going to slug and lettuce. We were supposed to go to like a brunch, an all-you-can-eat brunch, or a bottomless brunch. That's what it's called. Bottomless brunch. But I don't know if it's... I don't know. They organised it. I am just coming. Because they put something... They said something about doing a bottomless brunch. But then they said we were going slug and lettuce. So now I don't know whether the bottomless brunch is in slug and lettuce. Or if plans were changed. Does slug and lettuce do bottomless brunch? I don't think I've ever been to a slug and lettuce before, actually. Oh. Right. Oh, we have enough. No, I didn't get any green plants. What am I doing? I got distracted again. And my lip hurts now because it was dry. And I think it's split. Anyway. Let's get some of those acid boys. They were down here. This is why I haven't got any, because I keep looking in the places that they were before and they're not there anymore. So I'm not really sure what to do. Do I have to wait for them to respawn? Do I need to go to a new area? I don't even know if there's a new area that I can go to get them. Let me use my sea glide because I'll be so much faster with it. I feel like I'm gonna accidentally venture into dangerous lands. Get some oxygen quickly. Take responsibility for what? Did I almost die again? Oh, for not getting the plants. Yeah, it's alright, I'm not blaming anybody. That was all me. Whoa! What did I just find? Are you dangerous? Please don't be dangerous. Ooh, replenish oxygen. Oxygen plant depleted. Oh, I just wasted that. No, I remember these guys from the first game. But when after that they can collect stuff, no? Reach your egg. Inventory full. Yeah, just this. Wow. I can hatch my own one, maybe. Sea monkey nest. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, that's a sea glide freight. I don't need a sea glide freight.
Warning. 30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
Why do they have so many? They have all 3 sea glide fragments here. Do they have anything else? It's just sea glides. It's their stolen sea glides. Oh, guys.
Oxygen.
Yes, 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 lady. I need to use my thing. Whoa, did you guys see that lightning? Oh. Okay, I'm going back. It's actually nicer underwater. Is that possible? What? Let's keep looking for the acid plants. There's another little cave down here. Yes, okay. Because I remember them. I should have scanned them. I don't even know if scanning actually like does anything good for me. It gives me information, but to be fair, like I don't really need that info. I already know that information. Beautiful, wonderful. Okay, let's go craft the mineral detector. Oh, is there lightning like right above me or something? Okay. Let's make the battery first. And now... Oh yes, guys.
Terra beacon signature detected. Unique identifier. Delta Station Dock.
That's where my sister was stationed!
This is the place Lil mentioned in her message.
Guys!
The mineral detector can sniff out raw materials, potentially saving you hundreds of hours of searching.
Thank you. Thanks, lady. Let's unpin this stuff from my screen. Let's unpin this stuff from my screen. I need more containers. These things, why is a seed? Why is a seed taking up more space in my inventory than a whole fish? Decomposing. Key. I need to get rid of that. Drop. What else can I make? Letting air pumps air into pipes acts as starting point for a pipe chain. Jetpack can be used to transport breathable air from a functional pump. Oh, it's a big seed. What are you talking about? Cured. Let's make a cured Arctic peeper. Let's try it. Why not? Why does it go red? $32. Cold and salty. That sounds disgusting. Disgusting. Okay. Where's the 600? Maybe I should make another battery. In case my sea glide runs out of battery. I need another one of those ribbon plants. I need 2 more. Wait, do I have the other stuff for the battery? Copper ore, yeah. Okay, that's fine. Let's go look for some ribbon plants quickly. While it's night time. And then by the time we find them, we'll craft the battery. And it will turn daytime. And it will be light enough for us to go exploring. Okay, I thought that maybe because ribbon plants are green, that they're more likely to be around wheat vines. Hold on, I just saw some glowy stuff. Oh yes.
Warning. 30 seconds of oxygen
Hey, do you
remaining.
scare me every time? Oh, I didn't scan it again. Scan this one. Quickly, quickly now. That's what Mariana says all the time. She goes, quickly now. Huh.
Oxygen.
Yes, 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 yes. Just in time. Oh, when it's daytime, we need to hurry up. Didn't this have like a boost if I hold shift? No. Maybe it didn't have a boost. Maybe I'm lying. Right, let's make that battery. And let's go to... Oh, let's empty our inventory as well. Because if we go to full inventory, we won't be able to bring anything back. Oh my gosh. Let me eat these. I'll get those seeds at some point again. Okay, please, 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 can this area be nice? Because I'm scared. I'm actually really scared of this. Oh. Oh. That goes quite deep. Okay, this is... Shh. I don't like that. What is that? What is that?
That sounds like a distress call.
Transmission of unknown origin. Source of transmission depth calculated at approximately 200 meters.
Guys, I don't like it. This is where it gets disgusting. Oh, I'm so in the middle of nowhere. Oh no, this is making me feel sick. Stop! Stop! No, please. I thought that was just sound effects, but it wasn't just sound effects. Please leave me alone.
This is a recorded message. If you can hear this, you're trespassing. If you know what's good for you, you'll get the hell out of here.
Okay. Lady. I don't care. What's this? I'm collecting these, right?
Ed, I'm not blaming you. But what do you mean it's gone? Where did it go? You found some trouble somewhere in the deep twisty bridges and decided to jettison modules?
Yeah, I had to jettison a module. I got free, went back for it. It was just gone.
And you think someone stole it?
Oh.
Or something. I didn't lose it, that's for sure. I'm careful with my tools.
I'm
Oh, I'm
sure you
cold.
are, but you have to admit there have been a lot of sea truck accidents, and they're rather expensive.
You wanna follow me on a few runs tomorrow? See what it's like? Conditions are way harsher than anything I ever imagined. I don't know if you could really understand it from inside your base.
That won't be necessary. Thanks for your time. I'll write it up as an accident.
What? Something or somebody stole something. Why is it so cold up here, guys? Drink some coffee. Warm yourself up. Is this good or is this bad? Oh, it's a warm bath. Oh, why is it stinky though? Oh yes, heat me, heat me. Oh, this makes me feel warm in real life. Bushy shrub. Aww. Thermal lily. They look nice, but they look evil. Wait, so this is where my sister was stationed? There's so many. Oh, wait. This is just the start. You have to walk up to... There it is. That's the actual station. I thought that little bit was the station and that's it. I was so confused. Oh, what is this? Honeycomb fungus? This is a mushroom? Okay. Okay. Whatever you say. I've lost it now. Am I stupid? The tower was just here. Where did it go? Where's this broccoli? Okay, broccoli time. I don't know where it went. Let me go back. Or is it around this? Oh, maybe I have to follow the lights. I'll just come back to the beginning. Oh. Is this lava? Oh, we already have that though. Anything else? Inventory full. We haven't listened to... Oh, Fred. Fred was talking to Sam before. Wait, hold on. Which one came first? This one? Then this one. Manual special request. Manual gave me this jailbroken scanner tool thing and said I need more shower heads. This should lead you to the necessary minerals. What? He also told me to keep it on the down low. I guess this is what a master's certificate in applied geology gets you these days. A job as a glorified construction worker. Ugh. I should have studied interstellar law like Dad said. I have to hand it to Emmanuel though. I know what he did to the scanner, but it does a great job at zeroing in on specific materials. It's better than hoping I stumble across the right outcroppings.
I'm telling you, Sammy, you see some weird things when you spend half your day in a sea truck.
More vandalism? Was it the sea monkeys again?
I don't think so. I can't shake the feeling this planet is cursed.
There's no such thing as a curse.
Yeah, you're probably right. That's nothing. You wouldn't want to hear about it anyway. Just a huge creature frozen in ice.
What? Where?
In a cave, not far from your lab.
Wait, what?
And here's the extra weird part. As soon as I called it in, they closed off the area. Don't want anyone going in there.
But why?
Sammy, I'm no biologist, but I think there was something wrong with it. Its skin just seemed off. Alien.
An alien on planet 4546b.
Everyone here an alien?
I'm serious, Sam. Something ain't right. Wish I could show you, but I can't get back in there.
You can't. But I might know how to.
Whatever you're thinking, we never had this conversation.
Guys, I literally lost that freaking tower that I'm supposed to be going to. At least I think that's where I'm supposed to be going. Oh. Jump over. Did I come from here? Yeah, this is where I came from. Let me. Hello. If I just make my way back, I might be able to.
Stop right there, Altera. You're out of bounds.
I'm not with Altera.
Then your position is doubly precarious.
What the hell, man?
If you're telling the truth, you're out of your mind. If you're lying, there'll be hell to pay.
Wait! Who are you?
Stay off my land.
What in the redneck is going on? What in the redneck is going on?
The
Oh!
wound in the exosuit has been traced as far as my technology will allow.
Okay.
It would appear I'm far less alone on this planet than I had anticipated.
Open.
Signal location uploaded to PDA.
Wait, what? Oh, because the window's broken. I was like, how is there still snow in here?
For the last time, I'm not cheating.
Then what's your theory? What's going on?
If you ask me, Zeta's been blinking a lot. I think it's a tell.
He does have a point there.
It's allergies.
Allergies? Oh, is something in bloom in this frozen sector?
Thermal lilies. And if you gang up on me, I swear you're all fired.
You're not even my boss.
What?
Oh, you're all so gullible. You're fighting each other. Meanwhile, look at Parvin. Just look at him.
What am I doing? I'm not doing anything.
Let's just take this to a vote. All those who think Zeta's allergies are a bad case of alienitis, say intruder.
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 Intruder. Danny,
Oh, I'm just an observer here.
I'm going to use my pass.
is there some kind of scientist conspiracy going on here?
What are they talking
Zeta,
about?
Sam, Danielle, you three are suddenly very aligned.
Or, like I said, Parvin is cheating.
I'm starting to wish I was cheating.
Why is there? Why can I? Why is it telling me to scan? What am I? Oh. Can I scan these to build them later? Yes! I don't want to build Fred's bed.
Jenny, you wouldn't believe the adventure I'm having. It's just like when we were kids and we used to play Underwater City, only sea monsters aren't pretend, and I don't need to hide behind you when one swims by. because I'm safe in my sea truck.
No, what is
Safe
wrong
and
with Fred's
very,
bed?
very brave.
That looks too messy. I don't just.
Thanks so much for the
That's
mustache, kid.
right.
By the way, to be honest, I wasn't sure if it was a gag gift at first. Personal grooming is something of a challenge here, and as you know, I'm a pretty low maintenance guy to begin with. But you'd be surprised how handy mustache wax is in an emergency. There have
I don't
been
know.
some
Fred
close
just
scrapes.
looks kind of
For a while
dirty.
there, someone was sabotaging my truck, and I thought I was seeing things. But my friend Sam helped me sort it out. Although she's had some troubles of her own lately. To be honest, I get a little worried out here sometimes. But I guess that's normal under the circumstances. Gotta expect a little risk, right? I should be happy. I have great friends and a good paycheck.
Oh,
Anyway,
nice.
love you, Jenny, and Dad. Please find a way to tell him that he won't find embarrassing. And don't worry, I'm looking for the perfect fish to bring back as a gift. Your favorite.
Why did he laugh like that? Okay, so maybe Jenny is his wife or sister. Maybe it's his sister. I don't. Okay, so we saw all of these. Okay, that's fine. Oh, it's getting dark. I don't like it.
Communications tower
Who
maintenance
is
log.
this person?
Another day, another slight by the winged furies. As usual, I got an interference alert. As usual, I went out to see what the problem was. As usual, it was frozen stalagmites of feathered bird excrement. I fear the
Ew.
career impact of saying this officially, if you can even call what I have a career. But I could swear they're targeting me personally. The week I was out with the flu, I came back to find the tower spotless. Parvin laughed at me when I asked him how he cleaned it. Silly me. As if Parvin would ever clean anything.
What?
There's nothing left for me to do but quit. But I know that's what the birds want me to do. Oh, and I got the tower up and running. Maintenance complete.
What's this guy complaining about? He's chatting absolute West. I'm just gonna scan everything so I can build everything later. I think that's jukebox fragment. How many do I need? Oh, maybe not many.
New
Okay.
blueprint synthesized.
Okay. Let me get my flashlight out because I. Oh, wrong flashlight. Oh, this map is useful. Where are we? Delta. What? What? What shape is Delta, guys? Spencer, what shape is Delta? Yeah, maybe this is green. Green? Looks about right. Maybe on a mountain, on the shore. I don't know. Guys, I don't know. Okay. Oh, I just came from this room. Okay, does this... What? As in the actual Greek letter? Yeah. Oh no, wait. Well, is it any of these? What is it telling me to scan? Oh, I can scan the facilities map. Yes, that's so useful. Delta Station, Mission HQ, Communications, Logistics. Triangle. Oh, okay, so it's probably this one then. Biorobotics Center, Engineering Robotics will be here. Outpost 0. Xenobiological Research. I'm assuming that's this one. Copper mining site is that one. Unless this is 0 and that's copper. And then Omega is this one. Biological research classified. Guys, this is where the wait, I want to see where the frozen alien is.
A map will come in handy. I should be able to find my way to Phi Robotics where Sam worked.
Aerobotics were Sam. It was fine. It was fine. Maybe. Okay, let's skedaddle. Light stick fragment. Guys, I'm literally... Build a fragment! Yes, who said there was a frozen alien? Fred was talking to Sam. And he said he found a frozen creature, a huge frozen creature in ice.
New blueprint synthesized. Integrating
Scanner
new EDA
room.
data.
Hold on, guys. I can't see anything. Is any of this openable containers? No? No. I wish it was daytime so I don't have to waste my flashlight battery. Oh, thank you, universe. The game heard me, guys. Found Aang. Oh my god, it's Appa. Guys, it's Appa. Massive frozen creature. Heat me up, heat me up. Oh, yes. I want one of these in real life. Tower he was talking about.
Tower maintenance log. Okay, this time the birds have really done it.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what they've been eating, but it's corrosive when it comes out the other end.
Ew.
I'm gonna need to rewire. I'm short an element to fabricate the right cable. I remember seeing someone who did that dive to the old ship. I'm gonna go out there and see if I can get some more. That should fix it. Maintenance status in progress.
Oh, what are these little birds? Desk? No. Unscannable. Okay. Oh, oops. I pressed the wrong button. Hold on. I was supposed to do this. Status reports. Sector 0 region scan. 2 active human life forms detected. Unauthorized habitat construction and vehicular activity detected. Recommendation: observe and prepare for possible intervention. Interesting. Oh, I'm getting cold. Where's that lily? Okay, warm my back too. Ah! Too much! Too much! Oh my god. I only wanted a little bit. What? Climb. Climb. New employee training. It is recommended that all training be completed while Tower is in test mode. Test mode is a fully functional simulated version of live mode. While in test mode, all communication from the tower, including distress signals, security alerts, and spy transmissions, will be disabled. To initiate test mode, insert the test overdrive module into the diagnostics port, as depicted. As depicted in the diagram to the left, the active test mode command may be entered via the terminal once the test overdrive module has been inserted. So, I need to put... Where am I going to find the overdrive module? I need to find it somewhere.
Hypothermia imminent.
What do you mean hypothermia? Let me out! There's a railing!
Vital signs stabilizing.
This girl, man. Hypothermia. Maybe the pilot has the test module. Or maybe it's down here. There's more stuff. Have any penguins appeared yet? There was some earlier, Charlie. You missed some. There was way at the beginning. And in the beginning, we had some alien. Oh, this is the big. Oh, this is the beginning. Oh my god, I went all the way around. Okay, so maybe I have to go find the... Where's his last signal? I just saw it on my screen like 2 seconds. It's there. Last known position. So do I have to get the module from him? So I don't want to leave this area in case the module is here and I've just missed a whole... everything. But then if the module is not here and I have to go down to get the module, that makes sense. If I need to get it from him. I don't know now. I don't know. In the bninging. Okay, maybe I just have to go down. And I just like go down the side of the mountain. Not recommended. Pick up snow? Wait a minute. What? Is it infinite? Oh no, it's not. Okay, well, I need to get down now. How do I get down? Well, it's not this way. Through the cave. Didn't I pick up snow? Let's see, there might be some penguins down here. Red Bull base jumper. Oh! Charlie, look! Wait, can I throw a snowball at him? Will he attack me? I'm scared. He doesn't care. Nice. Hey guys, can I join you? I'm a little bit cold. Thank you. So I don't think you wanted to talk to me. You did not want to have that conversation. Oh, I don't think he likes me. Oh, I'm scared. I'm scared. What was that? Excuse me? Excuse me, what was that? What happens if I throw a snowball under the water? Oh! Okay. Guys, I don't want to do this. What is this purple? Is that fire?
Detecting stern of an astronautical Soltron vessel nearby. Vessel name, Mercury 2.
What? What's that thing?
Oh, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. They're everywhere.
What am I supposed to do?
Warning. 30 seconds of oxygen.
Oh, you
remaining.
absolute silly girl. What happened to my, oh, I got rid of it. Okay. This game is stressing me out. If the noises are stressing you out, let me eat this stuff. Needs to be prepared for this. Red's shaving kit. Okay. Where did I put my... Okay. This here. Can I... Where's the battery? Where did it go? Oh. Wait. No. Come back. How do I... Signal lost. How do I charge the Sea Glide? Now I'm cold. Guys, hold on. I need to figure this out before I go down there. How do I charge it? Oh my god, I need to stop dropping it. Spencer, how do I charge the Sea Glide? What? I built a battery. How do I swap out the battery? Guys. Ooh. Okay, we'll keep this one in for now. Okay, we need to get down there, but we need to avoid these big monsters that I'm scared of. New fish. This seems like a safe route at the moment. I think they're all over on the other side. I'm gonna hear someone, I don't like it. Guys. They're all above me. How am I supposed to get oxygen?
Warning, passing 100 meters. Oxygen efficiency decreased.
What am I supposed to do? Oh, they're here as well. Oh, he's so gonna see me. Oh my god, oxygen, oxygen, oxygen. Oh, they're right above me. I have to risk it, 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 I have to risk it. Swim! 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 I'm swimming the wrong way. Where am I going? Where's the land? Eee! Oh, they're not actually chasing me right now. Are they like... Are they passive aggressive? Are they just slightly passive aggressive? I'm so scared right now, I don't know. Are you, hello, are you kind? Oh, maybe they're not that. Okay, let me get some info. Oh. Oh! Where am I? This is not where I came from, surely. Maybe this is the same island. Guys, I'm so stressed right now. I don't understand what's happening. Okay. A cryptosuchus. Cryptosuchus. The cryptosuchus is a large shark-like beast, easily identifiable by its carapace of thin bony plates. These plates are defensive bony structures that aid in heat absorption among thermal vents. It propels itself with wide-webbed flippers that displace massive amounts of water. A Cryptosuchus is a bit of a contradictory creature. Despite its fearsome appearance, it's more raw than bite. While territorial, the Cryptosuchus tends to retreat from confrontation after being attacked once. This is likely a form of agnostic posturing. Aggressive fauna tend to avoid fights if the probability of injury is too high. Avoid, but can be handled. Okay, I'm getting really cold.
Hypothermia imminent.
What do you mean I'm in the water? Is it so dark? Oh. The light on. I'm a bit stressed. I don't know where I came from. It's this island, right? I need to get somewhere where I can climb back up. Okay, there we go. Hey guys, don't worry, I'm doing fine. So basically what I need to do is I need to... Excuse me. What a day, innit? But you're having a difficult day as well, aren't you? Is that the guy that doesn't like me? Still here? Yeah. There's some cryptos down there. They're a bit... Oh, okay. Okay, never mind then, I guess. I guess never mind. Wait, how do I... I forgot you have to manually save this game. Okay, I think I might have to end it here for today. We've learnt that... Okay, so basically, the plan for next time is to just go down there, and if they start attacking me, just whack them, because apparently they'll just run away. The only thing... It has been a good run. I actually got quite a bit done, you know? I got quite a bit done. I didn't expect to get this much done. The only thing that I am stressed about is my oxygen, especially when going so far deep down. It's going to run out quickly. So, I'm not really sure. Maybe my best bet is to swim along the surface, and when I get above the point, then dive straight down, and in worst case, I'll use my little air floaty device. Let me just save one more time, because, you know, you got to double save. That's the rules of life whenever you play games. But anyway, yeah, so maybe I'll do that. I'll just swim on the surface to maintain my oxygen at 100, and then when I reach above this little waypoint, that's when I'm gonna dive straight down, and see if I can hopefully make it. And then if I don't, I can use my little inflatey pillow to get straight back to the surface. Hopefully that'll work. Again, the crypto guys, we can just whack them in the head and they should run away. They do sound really scary. They sound really scary. But I guess that's maybe the whole point. They're supposed to sound scarier than they really are, which is kind of what the document said about them anyway. Do you mind? Do you mind? But yeah, I think that's the plan for the next run. For the next. Let me put my flashlight on so you guys can see. You guys can see stuff. Yeah, I think that's the plan for the next run. I'm gonna leave myself here in this nice warm bath. Okay, there we go. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, I didn't even get to say my hair was wet today while streaming. I was really getting immersive with the Subnautica experience. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I had a very lovely time. There won't be a stream tomorrow, as I said previously. I'm busy tomorrow, but I will try my best to get a stream going on. There will definitely be a stream on the weekend. I'll try my best to do Saturday. But most of the time, I end up doing as much as doing.
Seek fluid intake.
Stop talking over me. But most of the time, I end up doing all of my chores on Saturday, and because I jam all of them into one day, I don't get a chance to stream. But then that means I can stream on Sunday. But we'll see. I'll post in Discord. I'll post on Instagram when I'm streaming. So also turn on your notifications. Make sure you drop a follow so that you get those notifications on Twitch, so that you know when I'm live. And yes, you won't miss the stream. I always post it everywhere. Make sure everybody knows that I'm live. So don't worry, you guys won't miss anything. But yeah, this is stressful. This game is stressful, man. It's a bit scary. Have a good night with the girlies. Thank you. I will. Yeah, maybe I'll take a picture or two, put it on Instagram, who knows. Yeah, I hope you guys all have a good night. Hope you guys have a good night tonight, and I hope you guys have a good night tomorrow. Thank you for the good stream. Well, thank you for the good company. A good stream is not good without good company, you know? Otherwise it's just me talking to myself. It's not a stream, it's just me talking to myself. But with good company, that's when it becomes a good stream. Yeah, thank you guys. I hope everybody has a good night. I hope everybody has a good sleep. And yeah, take care of yourselves. Have a rest tomorrow. Take some time to yourself, because everybody's always coming on here every evening that I'm streaming. You guys need to take some time to yourselves too, you know? Yeah, I hope everybody has a very restful sleep. And yeah, I'll see you guys on a week. Bye everyone. Thank you for joining.